In this video, I'm going to be going over the metabolic priming method and how men over 40 are getting absolutely shredded eating more food. And as counterintuitive as it may seem, I'm going to show you the science, I'm going to walk you through it step by step, and I'm going to explain to you how you can actually eat more food, lose more body fat, get to a next level physique, improve your A1C and glucose, as well as lose a bunch of weight in the process. So this is going to be an entire video on the manipulation of cellular metabolism. My name's Adam Bunnell. I'm an online metabolic specialist and founder of the 1%, one of the top online fitness coaching companies on the internet as we speak, for the unique metabolic approaches that we use with each and every single one of our clients. So stop me really quickly if this sounds familiar. You're starving on 2,000 calories and still not losing weight no matter what you try. You're exhausted, you're feeling drained of energy all day, you've hired personal trainers who gave you generic PDF programs, and once you stop working with them, it stopped working as well. You've tried keto, carnivore, intermittent fasting, but nothing that you find sticks long term. You avoid taking your shit off at the beach because you're embarrassed by the way that you look, and your digestive issues is causing uncomfortability. And then the biggest one, you lose the 20-25 pounds, then you gain it back, and you're in a never-ending dieting cycle that just keeps repeating, and you feel like you're spinning your wheels. So here's the truth. Your metabolism is damaged from years of restrictive dieting, meaning the harder that you diet, the harder your metabolism is fighting back. So I want you to meet Wayne very quickly, one of our really good clients. He's a senior VP. He came to us eating 1,900 calories, felt like he was constantly starving, tried keto, low carb, carnivore, and he's stuck in the same dieting cycle for years. He had been to 3 different specialists before coming to us. And when we took a look at him, if you can see in the photo right here, you can just tell how beat up his body looks. The inflammation, the cortisol, the kind of watery look. And the impact it was having on him is he was avoiding networking events. He's a VP, and so he was lacking the confidence that he needed to outperform the younger guys trying to take his spot. And then he was just exhausted all the time and irritable. This is Wayne now. He's eating 2,700 calories a day at 8% body fat. That is 760 more calories per day at 8% body fat. He's sustained. He has good relationship with food. He has an enjoyable eating patterns. He's no more feeling starving or deprived. And your body is like biologically designed to burn more food. And that's the whole basis of this presentation of what I want to share with you guys today, is that your body is biologically designed to move more food, to burn more food. And in today's society, we've gotten so used to calorically restricted dieting and purposely starving ourselves to get lean that there's an effect that has taken place. So who am I? Why would you listen to me? My name's Adam Bunnell. And like I said, I'm an online metabolic specialist. I have a background in nutritional science and hormone and endocrinology, former Division I college baseball player. I've done over 1,500 nutrition consultations prior to starting the 1%, and I'm competed in multiple bodybuilding shows. Obviously, you can see my transformation right here, but I struggle with the same thing as anybody else. Struggle with the way I look, struggle with the way I felt. Kept hitting this wall and this plateau that I couldn't get by, and I thought I had it all figured out, but in reality, like, the 20% that I didn't have figured out was the reason I was stuck, because you could have 80% of this figured out your entire life, but that 20% that's keeping you from lowering your glucose levels, getting to a next level physique, seeing abs, losing 20, 30, 40 pounds, that's the reason you can be stuck, because you could have 80 of it figured out. So in the next 20 minutes, I want to explain to you why eating more food is the key to getting leaner. We're going to go over the 70% of your metabolism that burns the most body fat, why everything you've tried so far hasn't worked, and the 3-phase method that we've used for over 1,200 different men to get leaner eating more food. And then I'm going to explain how you can actually apply for a metabolic priming assessment at the end of this video. If you have been stuck for years, metabolic priming is exactly what you've been missing. So your metabolism has 4 different components, and you've been ignoring the most important one. So let's talk about the 4 components within your metabolism: your BMR, your non-energy activity thermogenesis, your thermic effect of food, and your exercise activity. So the largest part of your metabolism being your basal metabolic rate, breathing, organ function, cell repair. Now, you have 2 types of exercise activities, right? Notice that your exercise activity from gym sessions, running, and HIIT classes only account for 5% of how you burn calories a day. Right? And so notice that most people who undereat, they try to do a bunch of cardio, they are focusing on the smallest part of the metabolism that burns the most amount of calories. You have your next non-energy activity thermogenesis, which is going to be the movements that you take non-advertently, just walking and moving around, like fidgeting, like typing the keyboard, walking around. And this actually pertains to 15 to 20% of how you burn calories, right? And then your thermic effect of food, which is 10 to 15% of your metabolism. The calorie it takes to actually digest and break down the food that you eat, okay? So when we put in the concept, your entire metabolism and how it's really broken down, when we start getting energy fatigue and we start down regulating like our energy and how we're actually feeling, we start to psychologically move less, which actually down regulates non-energy activity thermogenesis. When we start to eat less volume of food, what starts to happen? We start to actually have a less thermic effect. And so with a problem that we see is that these restrictive diets that most men go through, the keto, the carnivore, the fasting, and just trying to white knuckle their way through a fat loss plateau has actually backfired. And it's caused a level of metabolic adaptation, and that's what it's called on a scientific basis. It's called metabolic adaptation. It's when you drastically cut your calories, your body thinks it's starving. It responds by slowing caloric intake to conserve energy and hold on to body fat. Your metabolism slows down to match how much food you're actually eating per day. And the more aggressively you cut your calories, the faster metabolic adaptation actually occurs. So the problem being is that you've been taught by the fitness industry and your favorite fitness influencer on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook that you just need to white knuckle your way through it, that you just need to try harder, that you just need to do more cardio, you need more discipline. But that's not the truth at all, because what has happened is that the industry focuses on the 5% of the calories, the 5% of your metabolism that burns the least amount of calories. Do more cardio, run more, do some more HIIT training. And then the adaptation starts to occur when you're eating under 2,000 calories with the keto carnivore diet and purposely starving yourself and fasting for days on end while losing muscle tissue in the process. So after 40, your body adapts fast. So more discipline just stops working. So I want us to understand the concept of how we unlock the metabolism's full potential, okay? So most people have tried the keto, right? The problem being, all right, we have two metabolic pathways, carbohydrate metabolism and fat adaptation, all right? Now, the number one problem in today's society is metabolic gridlock. Metabolic gridlock is when we have a high fat and a high carb diet within the same organism. What happens is mitochondria can't decide which fuel to burn. It gets stuck between the relationship of fat and carb metabolism, causes insulin resistance, causes inflammation, causes cortisol, and then energy starts to get stored rapidly as body fat. So notice, what is the American diet? High fat and high carb. And so the insulin resistance, the actual plateaus people hit, the cortisol that people can't get past and actually lose body fat, is actually a direct correlation of the high fats and high carb diets within most people's nutrition. So we have to understand the body can only burn one, and if it's burning carbohydrates and it's going to store body fat when we have both carbohydrates and fats high. Now, most people almost get there halfway. They almost get a little bit of unlock with their metabolism when they try keto. Why? It's because they cut carbohydrates out of their diet, which allows their body to just structurally focus on one metabolic pathway. So the problem with keto is that it forces your body to use backup fuel through the process of gluconeogenesis. It relies on stress hormone, cortisol, to liberate fuel. We downregulate the thyroid and metabolism with keto because carbohydrates are important to regulate thyroid hormones. And then your digestion and gut microbiome starts to downregulate as well. Why? Because carbohydrates have good probiotics and prebiotics in it. So this creates insulin resistance. So it's like almost running hospital on a backup generator. Your body has to go out and reproduce the actual mechanisms that actually create energy and ATP to actually give your body enough energy to move and breathe, right? And so the result is metabolic adaptation. So most people go into keto and they hit metabolic adaptation. And then they go back out of keto and they get stuck back in metabolic gridlock. And there's a never-ending cycle that happens right here. You lose 20 pounds, you gain it all right back within a couple days. And the problem being is that we can't have high fats and high carbs. Now, the optimization of your full metabolic potential will come with carbohydrate metabolism, which is metabolic priming. Restoring your metabolism's flexibility, using carbohydrates as the body's primary fuel source. This signals to the body we're in a place of abundance, in a place of non-scarcity and safety, and it reduces cortisol and inflammation. It improves digestion and gut microbiome, and it improves insulin sensitivity. And the result is high energy, high fat burning. Now we talked about non-energy activity thermogenesis. When we get more energy, we start psychologically moving more. When we get more carbohydrates and less fats in our diet, we actually have a higher thermic effect because carbohydrates are 3 times the thermic effect of fat. All right. And then what happens with our insulin levels is that we actually start to improve, right? There's tons of men who have came to us with diabetes, type 2 diabetes, borderline diabetes, A1C, glucose issues, and we've fixed it with metabolic flexibility using carbohydrate metabolism, right? Waleed is eating 350 grams of carbs per day, and he's dropped his A1C. Darren taught a pro bono at his church how to actually reduce her A1C. Jason actually came from YouTube. One of you guys right now could be watching this in Jason's exact spot, and he dropped his A1C from 12 to 7. And Heath got his labs done, and the doctor told him, whatever you're doing, keep doing it, right? And then Roland as well, from 90 to 80 on the A1C, 5.6 to 5.3 on his A1C, all by eating more food. All right. Now, I want to introduce you to the secret weapon. All right. When we, as a company at the 1%, have trademarked this term within the fitness industry called metabolic priming. So, metabolic priming is the strategic process of optimizing your body's metabolism for maximum fat burning potential and energy production using carbohydrate metabolism. Okay. So, metabolic priming by itself is a popularly known topic and term used in the nutrition space. Now, we've went a step further, and we use metabolic priming from a carbohydrate metabolism perspective. Because if you search metabolic priming, it would be basically on the context of kind of reverse dieting. Now, when you focus on carbohydrate metabolism through metabolic priming, not only can you focus on increasing the largest part of your metabolism, your BMR, but you also align your metabolic pathways to enhance fat loss. So if you increase your BMR, you burn more fat automatically every single second of the day. So we win by fixing the engine, not by starving or redlining cardio, okay? So a ton of guys, and like the industry as itself knows that we're well known for allowing our clients on average to eat about 800 to 1,000 more calories a day while losing weight. Happens all the time. And it's because we understand this concept. Our clients are quite literally up thousands of calories and down 10, 20, 30, even 100 pounds of body fat eating more food through this process. So if we were to put this on a graph, because most men will hear this and be like, that's not possible. How is that possible? Well, let's understand this from a concept of putting this on like more of a graph. So most men come to us eating 1,800 calories. Their metabolism is like down-regulated severely, right? Now, if we raise the calories, optimize metabolic function for one specific pathway, and increase metabolism, what happens? We actually increase the deficit. So although we're eating more food, we're actually increasing the deficit as well. Understand? Now, the cycle that we see, and where you're probably sitting right now, is that you go into a fat loss phase because you see yourself in the mirror, you want to get back in shape, and like you just don't feel like yourself. You used to look good in your 20s, or whatever it may be. You want to get back and healthy again for longevity. So you cut your calories drastically to 1,500 to 1,800 calories. Weight drops initially, and it's mostly just water and glycogen. You feel successful. You're like, okay, we're losing weight. Your body senses starvation. Thyroid downregulates. Cortisol rises due to gluconeogenesis. BMR slows down to match your low caloric intake, and then you hit the weight loss plateau. You hit the weight loss plateau, and you wake up the same weight for a few days straight. You get a little bit angry, and so you push a bit further. You cut your calories a bit harder. You do a little bit more cardio, and then you can't sustain the hunger, so you start to eat normal again. What's happened is you've downregulated your metabolism, and you've created an environment within your body for rapid weight gain, right? So we've downregulated our metabolism. We eat more food in a strategic way that actually has carbohydrates and fats in it, and that's the never-ending cycle that we start to see. So if every time you complete the cycle, your metabolism gets slower. So a ton of guys, maybe you listen to this right now, if you look at yourself in the mirror, you can see a constant layer of stress and cortisol that has been layered on in the midsection and visceral fat, because that's where visceral fat storage comes from and belly fat storage comes from, is cortisol. And we see a ton of guys come to us with this exact same problem. Now, the solution isn't eating less, guys. It's optimizing your metabolism to burn more food. The old way is this white knuckle your way through cardio, white knuckle your way through starving yourself. And the new way is optimization. And this is what has made us so successful in this industry. You burn more calories at rest. 70% of the calories that you burn is through your BMR. So if we focus on that, we can burn, think about it, almost how many times more per body fat, right? So here's the proof. I want to show you some clients that actually went through our programs, and we've worked with almost 1,214 different men. This is Doug, chief firefighter, who's 10 years keto, came to us eating 1,800 calories, battling severe cardio, and had zero energy left for his community and his family. Came to us, he said, I don't want to be the out-of-shape firefighter that can't save somebody. And we got him up to 2,800 calories, broke a 5-year plateau, and made sure that he was the type of man that could save somebody from a burning fire. Now, Joe, ex-family man, exhausted, all exhausted by 3 p.m. to not having energy all day for his family. So he was an ex-athlete, right? And he came to us at 1,700 calories. Been to 3 other specialists before us. Came to us and we took a look at him and we said, your calories are just way too low, right? And so we had to get him up to 3,000 calories, lost 27 pounds, and got his first ever 6-pack. Now, Andrew, his father, comes to us, has a daughter's wedding that he has to be at in a few months. And he said, I want to show up as the example leader and the best shape of my life that I've been in at my daughter's wedding. He has 4 daughters. He was at 1,800 calories. He's been lifting for 30 years, right? But he never really understood how to actually optimize your basal metabolic rate and metabolism. Now, we took him to 2,900 calories, and he showed up at his daughter's wedding, the best he ever had. So he says, thank you for helping me get better. It helps how my daughter's friends say, dang, your dad is jacked. And then meet Dan, 57-year-old Army Ranger with restrictive injuries. So Dan's issue, like a lot of you guys, is that he subscribed to this ideology that he couldn't lose body fat and get lean because he had restrictive injuries. He had a back injury, he had a knee injury that wouldn't allow him to run. And so he had subscribed to this ideology with himself. He's like, well, I can't lose weight because I can't do cardio. Came to us, he was tired, bloated, couldn't run, and we took him from 2,200 calories to 2,900 calories without any single bit of cardio, and he got absolutely shredded, right? Now, this is the 3-phase system that has helped all of these men transform their bodies while eating more food. Phase 1, metabolic restoration. First of all, we have to repair your metabolism of all the damage that you've done from years of dieting. Because if you don't fix the damage done after years of dieting, you will never lose more body fat. It's quite literally impossible. You cannot outsmart your body. Phase 2 is strategic fat loss, leveraging a new high metabolism for enhanced fat burning. And phase 3, which is most important, understanding how to actually sustain it. Because nobody really cares how lean they get if they can't sustain it, right? How many times have you dieted just to diet once again every summer? No, people want to have sustainability. Now, I want us to understand the 3 phases of nutrition. This might be you. So most people have tracked calories. Maybe you've tracked calories before. But macronutrients is where the actual money is going to lie, right? So calories affect your weight, and it dictates if the scale goes up or down. Macronutrients affects your body fat percentage, your hormones, your metabolic pathways, and your health, okay? So macronutrients are what's going to actually get you into a better metabolic condition, get you 6-pack shredded, lower your A1C and glucose, because the macronutrients actually dictate to your hormone levels that align with your mitochondria and metabolic condition. And then micronutrients affect how you feel, energy, health, and sleep. Most diets you guys do obsess over this level 1, like eat less calories. And like most people can hit a protein goal, yes, but like the macronutrients with protein, carbs, and fats is what actually helps you look a certain way and feel a certain way and be able to increase your health. So it comes with a customization around your macronutrients. And this is the biggest caveat I can explain to you in this entire video, is that the macronutrients will dictate how much progress you make, because everybody's going to have a specific set of macronutrients based upon their age, their height, their weight, their current metabolic condition, how much activity they do per day with their job, their cortisol levels, their sleep, and everything in between, because the macronutrients are going to be customizable to where you are currently at. So I could give you a random set of macronutrients from our clients right now, but it might not work for you because you're completely different, right? You don't need the same macronutrients as your wife or your daughters, right? Because you're a male. And that's the biggest caveat behind this entire thing. Perfecting those macronutrients will give you the great metabolic condition you're wanting. Track more than just your weight. Understand how to monitor your sleep, digestion, and energy, and what it's actually telling you about your metabolism. And then small changes to your macros weekly based on biofeedback. Most guys change their macros either way too fast every other day, so they don't ever actually see any progress, or most guys follow a PDF plan from their local trainer that changes every other month, right? Your body's constantly changing. Your plan should too. Every single week, you should be tweaking your macros based on the progress you made the week before. That's how you don't hit a plateau, okay? Now, phase one, let's talk about metabolic restoration. We have to, first of all, prime your metabolism by strategically increasing calories before you ever think about cutting them, all right? This signals to our body that we are in a safe place, that we are in a place of low cortisol, and tells the body that we are no longer starving, that we can actually go and start to improve sleep and cortisol levels through the parasympathetic nervous system. We upregulate thyroid using carbohydrates and T3, the master that controls your entire metabolic rate. And we build muscle tissue to actually give you the structure of sustainability, because that is like the foundation of muscle tissue, is the foundation. So we're building a bigger engine so that fat loss becomes effortless, all right? Now, carbohydrates. Let's talk about carbohydrates very quickly. Your body has a primary fuel source, and it's called carbohydrates. It's optimizing them unlocks your BMR, right? So carbohydrates are directly linked to something called your T3 and T4, which is your main thyroid hormone, okay? T4 gets transitioned to T3, which T3 is the active thyroid hormone. No carbs, low T3. High T3, active fat-burning hormone, all right? Carbohydrates blunt the cortisol response from training and daily stress. Chronic low carbs keep your body in that fight or flight state, in fat storing state. And then fat burns in a carbohydrate flame. To burn fat efficiently at rest, you need the metabolic machinery running at full capacity. So now remember how we talked about non-energy activity thermogenesis, right? Now, when we have more energy, that's why I say fat burns in a carbohydrate flame, we move psychologically more. You remember we used to have like tons of energy when you were a little bit younger, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and you just get up and you just walk around because you wanted to. You just like super excited all the time. You woke up with a pep in your step. Like from a non-energy activity thermogenesis standpoint, you on average can burn 500 more calories a day by just having more energy, right? It's kind of funny. A lot of our clients come to us and we increase their energy levels and they lose a bunch of body fat, but they also increase a lot of the calories that they're burning because they're psychologically moving more. They tell the wife, oh, no worries, I'll go get the groceries at night, Strategically increasing carbohydrates to unlock this BMR. So the strategy is we have to build the metabolic capacity so you never hit a dead end, okay? So step one, what you guys most likely have done before, is you cut calories. You start at 1,800. You drop to 1,500 immediately. Step two is adaptation hits. Metabolism slows down and match that 1,500, and then weight loss stops, and then you got a dead end. Can't go anywhere. And then some of you even try to get to like 1,200 calories. And, it's quite literally biologically unhealthy for men to be under 1,700 calories, because that's not enough to even feed a teenage girl. And, what we do from a different perspective is we use metabolic priming by building metabolic capacity. Remember the graph I showed you? We build metabolic capacity, we stay in a deficit, but also start to increase food. Now, when we go into step two, we have more calories to cut from, so we never actually hit a plateau or hit a dead end. We have sustainable fat loss. Now, the leveraging your new capacity is the most important part of why metabolic priming works, right? We're building the capacity. We're building the leverage. So your current approach is you start at 1,800 calories with a crash to BMR, try to hit 1,200 calories and you don't move anywhere. You have low energy, high hunger, sugar cravings, and metabolic slowdown. With metabolic priming, on the other hand, we have a high BMR. We have 3,000 calories hopefully under our belt, and we're able to cut 600 calories out, eat 2,400 calories. How much easier would your life be if you could cut on 2,400 calories? How much less hungry would you be if you could eat almost 2,500 calories and lose body fat? How much more easy would the diet be? How much less sugar cravings would you have? And so, the reason why metabolic priming is so beneficial from a long-term standpoint is because it's sustainable, right? We put your body in a position of everlasting metabolic success. And so if you look closely, your diets are 2,400 are higher than the old maintenance. So we create a deficit from a place of abundance, not scarcity. When you have a prime metabolism, plateaus become just minor speed bumps. We just make small, minuscule changes each week. And the microcut, right? Let's say you did go to 2,400 and fat loss stops and you hit a plateau. Cut them to 2,300. You barely notice the difference, but fat loss resumes. Or you do a little bit of step bump, right? You add 2,000 steps per day. It's an easy, low-stress movement that burns pure fat without fatigue. And then with the higher amount of calories and carbohydrates in your diet, we're able to maintain more muscle tissue, which for a lot of you watching this right now over the age of 40, like muscle tissue is the most important part of your anatomy that you must protect, because as you get older, bone density starts to decay and muscle tissue gets harder to build. And so we must protect that muscle tissue for longevity and testosterone, having a high testosterone count so you can, live longer. And then carbohydrate manipulation. So we know that carbohydrates are dictated to your T3. We can strategically use carbohydrates to maintain thyroid health and mitigate metabolic adaptation. So capacity gives you leverage. Restriction takes it away. All right. So the last part of the process is going to be understanding the why. Because if you want to reach a level of sustainability, you need to reach a level of education on how your body works. Now, nutrition mastery is something that takes time, right? It's a habit, it's a skill. But in today's society, we've gotten to a point in the nutrition industry and the food space that like calories are higher than they've ever been in food. And people are as less active they've ever been in history. And so within the last 20 years, people are moving less and eating more. And so it's more important than ever that you as a man of the family be able to understand nutrition to teach your daughter and teach your wife, because society's not getting any better. Nobody's regulating this stuff. So it's important not only from you to protect the ones you love and understand how nutrition works from a biological perspective to teach those people, but also it's liberating as hell. When you figure out how your body works from a nutrition standpoint and be able to actually manipulate your macronutrients based upon your biofeedback that you feel, most liberating feeling you ever have. And then understanding that, like with the metabolic feedback each week based upon hunger, energy dips, sleep quality, like all of these are key like signals your body's telling you about where your metabolism and where your cortisol levels are. So the knowledge to maintain results for the rest of your life is where sustainability is found. Learning how your body operates is the most liberating knowledge that you can ever have. Okay? Now, I want to take this to the next level for you and help you really bring this to a next level. Okay? Us at the 1%, we do a couple different things for each and every single one of our clients. And I'm going to help you actually put all of this together into one nice little big package and actually help you guys take this whole thing to an actual next level, an actual digestible standpoint. Okay? Now, most men, when they hear something like this, they're going to say, I'm not ready yet. I don't know, like, I'm not ready to start my transformation yet. Like, I'm just busy right now. Like, I got this in 2 weeks. Oh, like, my car broke down. I got something to fix. Like, listen, you're never going to be ready to start. You got to start to get ready, because there's never going to be a perfect time to start something like this. There's never going to be a perfect time to get in shape. Something's always going to be up. Something's always going to be your way. And life will never slow down. Work will never get easier. Taking initiative and action is more critical to success than waiting for the perfect condition, because early adopters win in life. So there is no, I'm not ready yet, because where you're at right now, you have a chance to make one decision that will entirely change the rest of your life. And the guys who come to us who are the most busy, they get the most support. And so when they're least busy, when work slows down, it's a breeze. Now, the guys who don't see great progress are the guys who try to wait 2 to 3 months. They start, they get busy, they fall off, right? So it's important for sustainability that you learn this and you learn the knowledge and the habits and the traits that will create the sustainability for you long term. So there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something in your way that you feel. And so as you're starting to hear this and you start to hear more about what we actually do for each and every single one of our clients, that's the first thing that's going to pop in your head, because the barrier to entry for your new life and new physique is the barrier of restriction, right? And the barrier of uncomfortability that you have to get over. And I want to explain to you John, because John's the same type of guy. John came to us. He's thinking about waiting. He's like, he's an ER doctor. He's like, work's getting pretty busy lately. Like, I don't know if I want to start something like this right now. And you almost get paralysis of analysis. You start to overanalyze it, and you start to overanalyze and think outside of what you actually need to actually get done, and actually stops you from starting at all. And John had mentioned, he goes, I had so many questions and so many doubts, but the program, sure enough, the results started happening. We all have our own story and struggles in this health journey. The difference is how Now the results you were looking for are right in front of you. You just have to take it. We are all here for you, right? And so like taking action is the only way you're going to see real change in your physique, in your health, in your A1C, in your body weight. Like you have to be able to take unequivocal action and jump out the plane and build the ladder on the way down. Like at the end of the day, your finances don't matter. What your wife say doesn't matter. What your kids got going on for school and practice, all of that doesn't matter, because you are the most important thing and the most important thing to you. And if you start to fail, if you start to break down, then who's taking care of your family? Because the real cost to not taking action at all is another day of staying stuck, and teaching those around you that it's okay for you to let yourself go, that it's okay to be too tired to throw a football, that it's okay to be tired at 3 p.m. It's okay to, gain weight and just look average, right? Because if you fail, everything else fails. Investing in your health pays the largest return. And that's why on the other side of this fear that you're feeling right now of starting something like this is a brand new version of yourself, because you have to become the type of person that has the physique before you are that type of person. What I mean by that is like you have to subscribe to the ideology, and you have to subscribe the identity of that person before you actually are that person, right? Now, I want to introduce you to Mitch. Mitch came to us. He's a business owner. He owns a multi-million-dollar construction company, right? He came to us eating 1,400 calories a day right here. Doesn't look too happy. Starving, running his business on fumes, to 3,100 calories a day, and started doubling his business revenue in just a few months, right? So you guys don't even think about the amount of potential that you guys can have when you start to focus on your energy, your health, and your confidence, and your earning potential. There's a phenomenon that happens when you start to invest in yourself and you start to take your body seriously and you start to take your health and energy seriously, that the world just gives you stuff in return. Now, nothing changes, guys. Nothing's going to change, because here's the truth. Each and every single one of you listeners right now, your biological reality is accelerating, okay? Your biological reality is accelerating. The more that you guys wait and the more that you guys kick this can down the road, the harder it is to take yourself out of the years of metabolic damage you've been through. It's harder to lose the weight, harder to get to that physique that you're wanting to, and then harder to actually undo all the damage that you've done. So your biological reality is excelling, and some of you are getting over the age of 40 and 50. Like 95% of our clients are age 40 to 65. And for some of you, like not taking action on this, you might never take action at all, okay? So I already know what most of you guys really want, right? Most of you guys want certainty. You want certainty, right? What I mean by that is that you want a clear roadmap without the stress of overthinking or second guessing. You don't want decision fatigue. You don't have to worry about, am I doing this right? Am I calculating these right? You don't want to worry about planning meals. You don't want to worry about overthinking every workout. You don't want to overthink every choice. Like you're a high earning dude. You're a father. You're maybe a business owner. You've got stuff to do. And the last thing you want to think about is eating chicken and rice, right? You don't want to think about what you're going to lift. You don't want to think about if you're doing it right. You want certainty. You don't want constant doubt. You don't want to think about what happens when I can't make my breakfast and I got to grab something on the go out the door at a gas station or Chick-fil-A. You don't want to think about all that. What you want is you just want something weekly tailored to you and your biology and your hormones and just tell you what to do. You want scheduled workouts designed around your availability and your lifestyle. You want somebody to come in and say, hey, how much time a week do we have to do everything? Okay, here's the plan. And you want somebody to actually contingency plan for you, for work event, to travel, for vacation. If you want to go out to eat on the weekends with the wife, you go and do that. You don't want the mental overload of thinking if you're doing it right. You just want certainty, all right? I'll meet John. John is a private pilot. And like most of you guys, you want to travel, dine, and enjoy life, right? We got John from 2,200 calories to 3,100 calories, sub 8% body fat, while flying 3 to 4 days a week, dining at restaurants, and he's staying lean all year round. All he does is follow the plan. Most of you guys listen to this want just an education. You don't want another process. You've been to the PDF trainers. You've been to multiple programs, but you've gotten burned in the past maybe by other people. And I completely understand. But the reason you've gotten burned in the past and you've regained the weight after you got done with the last specialist you worked with is because nobody actually taught you an education. They taught you a process. Most men join our program and most men join up with us is because we teach an education, not a process. Like Eric says, I was searching for the people who would take the time to walk me through it and teach me, not through words only, but in all ways you guys do this. Dr. Ben Anderson, a very, very well-renowned doctor, says exactly what I want, not a process. And education is exactly what I signed up for. I am so grateful for the education I learned with this program. Thanks for teaching your Jet A ways. I try to tell my buddies about eating more and losing weight. And then what makes me believe you're teaching our gym is my progress after just 3 days. So there's going to be a link below in the description of this video. And what I want you to do is I want you to fill it out, schedule a strategy call, and I want you to jump on a call with us and our metabolic strategy team, okay? We currently have a team of metabolic strategists available for weekly consultations for potential new clients, all right? What happens on this 45-minute strategy call is that, first of all, we're going to do a deep dive into your current situation, your training, your sleep, and your stress levels to see exactly where you are starting from, where exactly your calories at, how much are you moving per day, how many times you working out per day, how much time do you have to work out per day, what's your job like, what's your family life like, and then we do a diagnosis. We identify specific metabolic bottlenecks that have kept you stuck, like low T3, high cortisol, poor gut health, insulin resistance, maybe just lack of time. And we map out a roadmap. We customize a custom strategy, custom macronutrients based upon your biology and your metabolism, and create a custom protocol based upon your availability. So, exact macronutrients. We give our clients exact macronutrients. They check in once per week. We change those once per week. We explain what we're doing and why we're doing it, and then we plan around their schedule. We take our process and plug it nice and fit into their life. And the decision. At the end of the strategy call you guys jump on, if you don't want to do this, you don't have to, right? We work with almost 500 different men currently. We understand this isn't for everybody, right? We understand that. But this is a virtual metabolic doctor's appointment to identify your unique bottlenecks, okay? So the worst that could happen is that you get a little bit of clarity. You get a little bit of clarity and we help you out and send you on your way, okay? So this isn't like some high pressure sales call. It's just simply a way for us to actually sit down and actually explain what could be potentially happen. And if you would like to be a part of the 1%, we'll get you rocking, get you rolling. It's a great thing to be a part of. Now, just quick, this isn't for just everybody, all right? The 1% is for men who refuse to accept mediocrity, refuse to accept society's average, right? If you're 35, 75 years old and serious about transformation, this is for you. If you're willing to put the work in, you're tired of guessing, and you want expert level guidance to get to a next level physique, and you want the top specialists in the metabolic space actually guiding your body along this path and along this journey to your next physique, this is for you. And if you're a long-term thinker, if you want permanent results, education, and you want to learn how to actually maintain it for life, this is for you. So if you check these 3 boxes, you're good to go. We'd love to have you. Now, this is who we do not work with, because this is not for you if you just want some quick magic pill. We don't work with people who just want a quick dopamine rush of a few pounds lost in a couple days, right? We don't want people who aren't coachable and who don't fit with our community. Like, we are a community called the 1%. We are the top 1% of men. And so we're not looking for people to work with people who want to try something new and not want to just go all in on their new identity. And we don't want to work with people who aren't aggressive action takers, because the 1% are winners. The 1% are the guys who start first, they start in front of everybody, and they finish first. That's the 1%. We protect this community fiercely, and we only work with action takers. Now, let me shift your perspective a little bit. Most of you are probably thinking like, you know what, I can maybe do this on my own. Maybe you could, right? Who knows how long it would take you to figure it out? And I have no doubt eventually you could, but most of you, your biological reality is accelerating, right? And on top of that, why would you do that? Why would you go out and try to do it on your own and maybe get the results after months, maybe even years of trying and failing? Or why don't you just sit down with one of us and we can actually lead you there and actually get to work with a team of professionals who have done it with 1,200 different people? How much more likely are you to get there faster if you just get a direct roadmap to your exact body composition? We're proven professionals, and we're industry leaders in the space with a track record of exceptional results. What if you're given an exact GPS of the metabolic priming system I just showed you, instead of just stopping at every random fitness influencer's gas station to ask for directions? And then your exact result, like we've worked with 1,200 different men who, all of them, many of them have probably had your exact result. We've worked with every single type of men who came to us with a specific metabolic condition, wanted to get six-pack abs, wanted to lose weight, or just wanted to improve health and longevity. How much more certain would you be, and would you believe what you can actually achieve if you had a team of experts guiding you? Now, how much more likely are you to believe you're capable of something like this if you're surrounded by men going through your exact journey? The 1% is a community of men 40 to 65 years old, right? Supporting each other every single second of the way, because your environment dictates your level of success. It's a common saying. It's like your environment dictates your level of success, because who you're surrounded with is who you become, right? Your environment is how you stay motivated. Men the exact same age of you that have the exact same goals, who have families, who have kids, who have wives, and who also have a problem that they're actively trying to solve alongside of you. Like Devin, I believe the Lord knew I needed this group during all this. Kevin, 45 years old. Appreciate that coming from you. The program you built is top notch, right? Bobby, welcome to 1%, where dreams come true and you eat more than you ever have, especially carbs. Jerko, proud of what I'm doing and proud to be part of this incredibly community. We're all work guys. Now go kill the weekend. What would this environment have as a reflection of your progress? And most of you thinking right now, it's like, well, I kind of want to do this. Like, can I actually trust these guys? Like, you don't need confidence in us. We're proven. We're proven. You need confidence in yourself, because you've gone way too long with zero confidence in yourself, right? We have a 97.42% client satisfaction rate. We have never, ever had a client go through our program, follow our plan to a T, and not see the results they set out to achieve. We're proven. You need the confidence in you. You need the confidence in yourself to take action. You need the confidence in yourself to stick to something. And you need the confidence in yourself to try something new, to get to a place you've never been before, because you will never get to a new place by doing the same thing that you've done for years on end, right? And so you don't need confidence in us. You need confidence in you. And if that sounds like you, and you want to join the 1,200 and current 14 men that we've worked with, and get to a next level physique, lose the weight, get to expert level health, improve all your blood markers, live longer. Link will be in the description of this video. Sign up for a time where our team metabolic strategist is waiting for you, and you jump on a call, have a quick conversation, outline those specific bottlenecks, and we will get you in the best shape of your life, right? We're proven. Time to have some confidence in you.